All right, we are live. Bam.
What's going on?
Holla, holla. Let's just make sure. I'm going to pull it up inside of the group so I could actually check out the comments.
Cool.
See what everybody is saying here.
Can you send me that link?
Oh yeah. Let me send you the perma link real quick. All right, fam. So I'm pretty pumped here as we finish getting set up with Jake DeMichelle. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
DeMichelle. Yeah. So I'm pretty pumped, man, to talk about this because, well, first of all, let's just talk about the headline. The crazy scale over the last 5 months. You've been in business longer than 5 months, but over the last 5 months alone, scaling up to $100,000 a month in collected revenue, like that's pretty epic, bro.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, and I felt like it was just kind of fate that we connected at the time that we did, and it's kind of just taken off from there.
Dude, so I'm pumped to talk about it, man. I want you to do most of the talking. So just context before Jake dives into everything he has going on and really what he's crediting all this to, and how things started out, because that's what people really want to know. Like, everyone has to start from somewhere, and like us, we started from the bottom. So Jake is one of our clients in the art of sales, and we met back in December, and I think we started at the very, very end of December.
Yeah.
So really January started kicking things off, and from there things have just gotten wild. So let's just hear it from you, man. Let's talk about the journey, then we'll get into some details in a sec.
Cool. Yeah. So I had a mentor who kind of taught me into the credit space a little bit, and taught me sales, some base level stuff. But the credit space was really fascinating to me, and just the loan brokerage space. So in June of 19, we ended up kind of going separate ways. I started my own company, JDM Capital Solutions. And then I was basically on my own, trying to close deals, find clients, and kind of start, not from scratch, but just kind of learning the systems and building the infrastructure of my company. And then once I had the infrastructure kind of down, I was closing some deals, making some money, and doing about, I think, 5-6K a month, maybe nothing crazy. And then, Rob, actually, I came across Rob's YouTube sometime, I want to say in like November or maybe October, and watched some of your YouTube stuff. And, at that point, I was just struggling to kind of find a consistent method and pattern of how to get clients, right? How to book calls, and, that whole structure. I was doing some courses. I took a LinkedIn course and a little bit of a sales course, and I was doing some outreach on LinkedIn. But I was really just still building my infrastructure, kind of just trying to partner with the right people. And I knew that partnering with the right people and developing those relationships was going to be like key for my business, because my business is very like relationship based. So, we make a lot of money off referrals and working with other companies, like having synergy with them. So yeah, so I connected with Rob, kind of jumped in feet first with art of sales, because I knew I had to get good at sales. I knew I had to learn marketing. I just liked Rob's energy, and kind of, he kind of sold me just off his YouTube. So then since then, developed the VSL, which is, if you don't know, it's a video sales letter. So it's kind of like your pitch, and more information about your product, but in a video form. And then, connecting that just with funnels and booking links, and just getting book calls, right? Because you have to get on the phone with prospects. If you don't get on the phone with prospects, you're not going to close deals. As simple as that. So, it's kind of a numbers game, but it's also, you want to have quality leads at the same time. And I think that that gets better over time. But yeah, it's been pretty wild. So first few months, kind of like stagnant, and then it's just been crazy. I would say the last 4 months, since basically February, the end of February, beginning of March, we've just been doubling revenue every month. Yeah.
So here's the cool thing. I just want to address this real quick, because a lot of people are like, but I bet he's spending a ton of money on ads. And as you know, we don't initially teach ads, because how can you make money without money?
Right.
That's the irony, is you need to know how to make money without money, but you can't. People think you need money to start out. So how much are you spending on ads right now to clear $100,000 a month?
Right now, I think I'm spending maybe just a tad under, I want to say 8,000 or 9,000 a month, if that. And honestly, you know, I was running ads for a couple $100 a month, and I'm sorry, a couple $100 a week, and it was, you know, it was profitable. So I just scaled that up, obviously. As you know, I kind of have a big following on Instagram, and kind of set up myself up there because that seems to be where the credit and financial space kind of thrives for whatever reason. People like Instagram, you know, I don't know if it's like flashy cars or houses or, you know, just the lifestyle, because that's not me. I'm just kind of a grinder. But yeah, and you don't really have to you know, to spend a lot of money on ads to make money. Obviously, ads help a lot, and once you have a proven model and you can just drive more money into that ad stream, and you know, it'll create more revenue, then obviously you should do so. But I'm a big believer in part of what I'm kind of preaching for people ties into what I do, which is I help businesses get money. So, you know, if you are at a point where, say, you know that you need to start spending money on ads, but you don't have enough money to do that, you would want to talk to somebody like me, because I can get you, you know, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 pretty easily. And then you can use that money to, you know, to do ad spend.
And if you guys stay till the end, Jake's going to have something cool for you. And then also we're going to make sure you know where to find Jake and contact him in case you do want to work with him. Because especially in this time now where people are finally understanding, I think they are. Maybe they're not as educated as, maybe it's just because we live in this world, but
yeah,
rich funding and 0% finance and things of that nature. I know I still learn a lot from you on that stuff too. So if you guys want to reach out to Jake after, he's going to have something cool for you at the end, and then we'll make sure that you can reach out to him about that.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So yeah, and I just want to bump in real quick. Like coronavirus, it's like my business really boomed because of coronavirus. So
tell us about that.
Yeah. So basically, what happens is when something I would call it a black swan event. I don't know if you ever read Nassim Taleb's books, but I sent some to Rob. He's gonna start checking them out and go to the next level. But
you're the man, dude.
But black swan events, right, is kind of just an event that comes out of nowhere and changes kind of our society, right, and our culture in a way that is just unpredictable. And obviously, when that happens, in this case, it affects the economy and obviously the people dying, you know. But you know, the economy is really affected. And when everyone's making money and the economy's great and everyone's booming and in abundance, nobody really thinks about having credit because they're like, who cares? It's just, you know, I have money, I don't need credit. But as I say to people, you do need credit because if a black swan event like this happens, then you know you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck without money, without a safety net. So credit can be used as leverage to scale, right? Leverage to hire people, leverage to fix problems in your business. But it could also be used as emergency funds. So as the economy has kind of crashed, people have realized that their credit's really important and they've wanted to fix it, and I fix credit. So yeah, it's been pretty wild.
Lit, dude. That's freaking awesome, man. And not once did you flinch at like this happening. You're just like, let's freaking move into the market. Game time.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually pivoted my offer. Like I was telling you, I was really only selling like high ticket, my high ticket course, which is my 0% accelerator. It's like A to Z credit restoration, building funding, you know, business credit building, stuff like that. And it's, you know, it's a higher ticket price. And I was like, listen, people need help with their credit and I'm really good at fixing it, but I really wasn't like pumping it. So I built the systems out and started pumping it. And I think since March 12th, so it's ironic, March 12th, today is May 13th. So it's actually been just about 2 months. I think we've done 165 clients since then. And the average price point is probably somewhere in the $1,200 range.
Yeah.
That
sounds good.
Yeah. So that's just, you know, 2 months of really pumping. And we only did in March, we did about 37 people. So think about that. So basically since April, since around April 10th, we've done over 120 people in repair. So, you know, at an average price point of somewhere in the $1,500 range.
That's sexy.
Yeah. So it's been pretty wild. And it's funny, as you scale, things just become easier. You meet more people. you know, and I was thinking like, you know, so I watched the movie Contagion. It's funny. So right when coronavirus is coming out, I was like, yeah, the best way to freak myself out even more is to watch Contagion, which is, if you guys don't know, it's a movie with Matt Damon, and it's a good movie, by the way, but it's about a pandemic. And they talk about the R naught of like how a virus spreads. So, you know, if you give a virus to somebody and then three people, you know, based on the statistics, you're going to give it to three people, and then those three people are going to give it to three people. So if that happens tenfold, it's like 56,000 people. So I thought about that the same way with sales and with credit restoration, because I was like, man, if I fix 100, 200, 300, 400, 1,000 people's credit, I'm going to get so many organic referrals. So if you have an automated product that you can give to people, or a service that's really valuable and it's easy to scale, then you're going to just, you know, if you think long term, you're going to get so much organic referrals from that. So
facts. And you know what, I actually want to expand on something you said there here in a second, where you said things got easier as you scale, because I want people to understand what that means. But before we do, I want to backpedal a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your biggest fear before getting started in the art of sales? Because man, you were doing like 5 to 10 grand a month. I believe it was around 10 grand a month inconsistently there. And you know, that's not like, when you're dealing with taxes and you're dealing with things you want to invest in your business, like you start to realize real quick that 5 or 10 grand a month doesn't get you as far as you thought it would.
No, it's really like, I used to think making 10 grand a month was like the holy grail of like where you want it to be, right? Because like, man, 120 grand a year, like profit, I mean, though, you know, and it's not, it is a good amount of money, but you know, you have to leverage, eventually you have to leverage your time. I mean, that's really, you know, something that I've been pushing recently, is like, it's not just about making money, but it's also about leveraging time. And, you know, if you can make more money, like I'd rather make 40 grand a month profit, right? And work 20 hours a week or 30 hours a week than make 60 and work 100, right? Because it's not sustainable, right? So you have to think about what's sustainable long-term, and what, you know, and what my philosophy is that you should really just grind and work as hard as you possibly can, get to a threshold that's consistent, and then automate and scale and automate from that level. So then automate, you know, to 50K a month, and then go back to the drawing board, take a little break, grind again, get to 80K, then scale, automate to 80K, right? So you can do it in jumps. But yeah, I think my biggest fear, I don't know. I'm different. I came from a sports betting background, so I used to bet sports for a living. So I don't know if fear was kind of, it wasn't really fear. It was more just kind of, you know, as you invest, you know, into a mentor or kind of a high ticket program, you want to make sure that you trust that person. And I know Rob was good at sales, and listen, sales is the highest paying position in the world. You know, Tony Robbins is a salesperson, and he, you know, makes hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I kind of just was confident in your sales skills and kind of your, you know, I didn't really know what the program was about, to be honest. I didn't do that much research. It was more, you kind of sold me as your kind of entity, I guess, than the actual details of the program. And I think that happens a lot with people, and I think that's important in building a brand too. So I really focused on my brand leading up to kind of meeting Rob, and a little bit after, because I knew that like brand recognition is really important, and it's just a positioning thing. And I knew that Instagram for me was like where I wanted to kind of establish myself, and now it's moving from Instagram to kind of YouTube. So yeah.
Dude, that's incredibly powerful, because yes, it doesn't matter like what company. If you look at Pepsi or Coke, like people trust their brand, and then they also have like celebrities representing their brand.
Right.
People trust those celebrities, and say Grant Cardone, like is another guy where like people just trust the guy, whether you like him or not. Like people do it. And like with Jake, you know what? Now that you make me think about it, this is another power of organic. Is that you said you found me on YouTube, but we messaged to set up a call through Instagram, and you responded from one of my stories.
Mm-hmm.
So that ecosystem, guys, is powerful.
Yeah.
And
you want to. Yeah. Sorry. You want to be present. You want to be present on. I think people get a little bit confused about which platform to focus on. And I think that you want to be present and have a presence on all platforms, but you want to kind of niche down and focus on one platform. So my first platform was LinkedIn. I'll be honest, I didn't generate a ton of, I wouldn't say I generated any crazy deals off LinkedIn, but I did meet my partner that handles all my credit restoration. So, I mean, without him, and we kind of, I kind of helped him get to where he is now, and he helped me kind of, we helped each other, right? But if I had never, I organic outreach that guy, just sent him a message. So the power of like meeting people too is just, you are one or two people away from kind of changing your trajectory as far as how much money you make. So especially if you're in sales, because somebody can help you, or they can, show you something that you don't know, or they can help you automate processes. Because I would never be able to do the volume of what I do without him, because that whole process, is another 10 people, working, right, as a team. So I mean, I'm not saying I can't do it now, but the whole point is just that, meeting the right people and automating your time can really help you kind of scale to the next level when the time is kind of, or when the opportunity presents itself. And I think having presence on all platforms is important, because I think that cross-pollination, people see you on Facebook. Oh, I saw you on Instagram. Oh, I saw you on YouTube. Oh, I saw you on LinkedIn. Or I saw you on Twitter, right? Like if you're able to kind of put yourself in front of people on multiple platforms, it'll make a big difference. Because it also shows that you're spending money. I mean, I think subconsciously people realize that this guy is dumping money into ad spend, so he must be making money. Like if I was making $100, $100 a week, I wouldn't be spending, a couple $1,000s in ads. So, I think that at least that's how I think of it too. If I see somebody's ads, like, say, the first people that I worked with, they talked a lot about, I can't even think of it now. It's funnels and what are they, Rob? You know them. Taylor. Yeah. I mean, so you see their ads like everywhere, right? Like just like they're all like, there's like in your face, all like, they're spending thousands and thousands of dollars on ads, right? So they're doing something right. They're making money. So.
Facts, dude. Facts.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something else before too, how you started on LinkedIn, then you moved to Instagram. And I think, guys, it's important too, because, we teach a lot of forms of traffic from organic to paid. But the thing is, like, people typically jump too soon, which you did a great job on not doing that. You focused on one thing, then you delegated it, then you went to the next thing and delegated it. And same thing, man. I started on YouTube, and then I moved to Facebook groups, and then I moved to LinkedIn, and then we moved to Instagram. So it's like, that was our ecosystem, but we didn't move until we were able to delegate first. You did a phenomenal job of that. What I want to move into next is, like, people come into our program at different levels, brand new or doing 6 figures a month starting out.
Right.
And so what I want our viewers to hear here is, what was that like for you when you crossed that threshold of, like, let's say $50,000 a month, and you said things started getting easier as you were scaling? Can you break down what that looks like for us to paint a picture?
Yeah. So I think it's just from a security standpoint. I think that when you have it's a psychological thing. So when you have a clear system on say, hey, I know that I'm going to make 20,000, 30,000 profit this month, like, just like, I know, like 100%, like, there's not a ton of variance. Like, I don't need to like be outstanding. I could have a bad sales month, like just be off my game, and I'm still going to make 20, 30 grand. Right. So I think the security of knowing that the process works, and then just that confidence of, like, a lot of people have imposter syndrome when they start, and they're kind of, they lack that true belief, because when you go from making, like, a year ago, I was still learning the business and driving Uber part-time to make money. Like, I was making a couple $1,000s a month, so I think, when you start going from making a few grand a month to making, say, 10 or 20 or 30, there's just a level of psychology that doesn't resonate. Your brain is kind of like, what the hell? And, you have to adapt to that. And then, it happens at each person's pace. But I think at one level, it's just a security thing from a psychological standpoint. You just get more comfortable because you're not worried about making money, right? You're not worried like, hey, if I don't close this deal, I might not be able to pay my bills. And that's another reason why credit is great, right? It's a safety net. And I think once you get to that point, you can just focus more on, like, hiring people, right? Again, delegating your time, hiring people, and then teaching them. I mean, I think a big part that I'm not struggling with, but just learning now is like how to hire the right people and train the right people. Right. Because I was doing everything myself. And then what happened was basically the end of March, middle to end of March, I was like, I need to hire an assistant. I hired an assistant in like 2 or 3 days because I just had to find one. Like I was just like getting crushed. So I think once you can make enough money, you know, you want to take some of that money and you want to start delegating and hiring some solid people in your business to help you. And then once you have more help, right, it's easier to make more money. So you can work the same amount and make more money because people are working for you. And that's the leverage of money and time. So
absolutely. So yeah, so that's really good takeaways, guys, when you get to that point. And you know, the faster you can normalize making 20 grand a month as like, well, it's just 20 grand a month and it's part of the process, or 50 grand a month or 80 grand a month. Once you're able to do that, you don't look at it as 80 grand a month. Like, you know, if you're selling 25, 50 grand a week, it's going to start feeling like, well, okay, so this is how far we off from the number.
right.
Like, we need to get there. It doesn't, you don't look at it like, now I have 50 grand.
No, not at all. And I'm somebody who's probably a little bit over aggressive as far as spending my money. Like I'm not scared to spend my money back into my business. And I actually think, at least for me, I need to have that, like, I don't like being comfortable, right? I need to have that push. So I think investing more money back into your business just makes you double down harder. And I think, you know, having 100 grand in the bank might make you take a deep breath. And it's just a mentality thing, you know, getting to that point. And it happens organic. It happens naturally, right? It's just a natural process, and everybody processes that kind of situation differently. But yeah, I mean, I think that it doesn't freak you out anymore when you start making that type of money. It's not like, holy shit. I mean, you have some holy shit moments, but like this, like now it's like, I don't get excited unless I close like a deal that's going to bring me a couple hundred, you know, maybe 6 figures a year, or I make, you know, 5 figures in a day, right? Like now it's just kind of, you know, back then you close a deal and you're like super excited, and then it just becomes normal.
Dude, I love that, man. So I know we're getting close to time here. So there's a couple of questions I want to ask you, and then I want to make sure that everybody is able to go find you in case they want to work with you with what, you know, your specialty is in dealing with credit repair and funding.
Yeah.
Because obviously in this time we're in now, depending on when you watch this interview, guys, this is the time of COVID-19.
Yeah.
So, you know, our business has picked up and Jake's business has skyrocketed.
Right.
So the market didn't matter. So reach out to Jake and explain some details to that. But a couple of questions before we shoot everyone to your platforms to talk to you about it. What exactly is it about the program that you would credit your initial quick success to?
I think it's totally the BSL and the funnel. I mean, I just think that having somewhere to, like, because I have a website. I invested a lot of money into that website, but I think a website should be like kind of almost like a passive place, not necessarily, but it's kind of like a landing spot for people that maybe are super interested, but just want to look more about your business, and from a credibility standpoint as well, that you have a nice website and you look professional and all that. But I think the landing page is more of a sales page, right? So it's going to capture the person's attention. It's going to want them to look at what you're offering. And then the video is just game changing. I mean, in today's world, you know, good ad copy still exists, but you know, there's nothing better than somebody explaining something to you on a video. And I think that just having the VSL hooking up with OneSub and you know, with the scheduler and with the funnel, it just makes everything very easy, where if somebody is interested, like even now people I get hundreds of DMs a week, right? And you know, I just send them to my booking page. Like I just send them to the funnel. It's just like, hey, watch the video and then book a call if you want to get started, or you know, if you're already ready, just come back in the DM. So just that simple thing. And that's not really a hard thing. And then I think on top of that, obviously, is the sales training. You know, I think, you know, learning how to be confident on sales calls, practicing, learning positioning, getting over the fear of like that you can't charge something, right? I think that's a lot of people believe that they have to charge a certain amount of money, or something's not worth this much money. It's all relative, man. if you're talking to somebody, if I talk to a business owner that does $1 million a month and they have bad credit, I could charge them 25 grand and it would still be worth it, like for them, right? So where I charge other people $1,500 or $1,000, you know, $1,200. So I mean, it depends on who you're selling to, and I think that you have to just like, you know, after you start making money, 20, 30 grand a month, it doesn't feel like a lot of money anymore. Where somebody who makes 2 or 3 grand a month, obviously, you know, they're not going to think the same way. They're not going to have the same mentality. So I think, you know, getting over that kind of stigma, and that belief, and a lot of this is psychological, guys. Like it's, you know, it's an evolution of both believing in what you're doing, believing in your product, and then also having the tools to execute and drive consistent and reliable kind of data and results, you know, and be able to capitalize on that, and having just a structure and having a system. Because if you're making money but you have no rhyme or reason to why, you're not gonna be able to scale from, you know what I mean? So that's the thing, is like, you might not make as much money in the beginning, but once you start making money, there's a straight linear path to scaling. And then I think that's really important.
Facts, dude. Love that explanation. That's awesome. So for anyone like watching this now, by this time, you know, Jake's in the finance space. We work with agencies all across the board: fitness, finance, marketing, etc. So who would you recommend the art of sales to, and why?
Well, anybody that just wants to get better at sales, and from a sales standpoint, anyone that wants to get better at sales, Rob is really, really good at sales. He really understands the way people think. His scripts are really, really good, and you can obviously tweak them because I had to tweak mine for my niche, right? And that comes with experience. But I think the sales part, and I think anybody that just wants to get a clearer path to having a system that works, that they can rely on month in and month out, and not having to kind of second guess themselves or know if they're doing something right. And the thing is that Rob, if you are a little bit off track, Rob can get you back on track. So it is a done with you program. Like, you're going to have to put effort into the program and actually, like, you know, be a good fit. And, you know, me and Rob think the same way on that. Like, we want clients to have skin in the game. So you're going to have skin in the game. You're actually going to have to want it and execute on it. But if anybody can benefit. I mean, all the people that all my sales guys, I put them through his course. I mean, I make them, you know, watch the sales training and, you know, learn how to sell. Learn the cold calling stuff is really big, getting over your fears about that. So anybody that's just trying to get better at sales and have a direct, scalable offer and product system on how to do that is a good fit.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Super humbling to hear that. I appreciate it. And obviously you're onto some huge things right now and doing some cool stuff. So I want to make sure that people can find you with this video. So what platforms can people find you on? So this way they can make sure that they are educated and use you for credit repair and funding, because you crush that. So where can they find you? And if you have any links, you could drop them in the Facebook group.
Yeah, did you send me the link to the group?
I did. I put it in the chat.
Okay, hold on one sec.
So this way you can put that in the comments.
I think, okay, I see here. One sec. So I think Instagram is probably the best place to find me. So it's at JDM Cap Solutions. Where do I drop that in, Rob?
You can put it in the comments inside the live video that's streaming in the feed.
I don't see it. Here, I'll let you do it. Hold on.
Cool. So I'll drop this inside the comments, guys, so you can find Jake. This is going to be his Instagram. And if you have anything you want to link here, man, you can do that too. But I'll put this in here. And you guys can see Jake's first and last name on the actual Zoom recording here. So if you're watching this on YouTube, a landing page, or on the Facebook group, you'll be able to go find Jake if you want to talk to him, or my friends list, so we can reach out to him. I know you play a lot of game in the DMs.
Yeah, let me say something real quick too before we get off. Is like, there's a recession coming. Like, this, whatever's going on right now, is just the beginning of what's going to come. So what's going to happen is, as businesses go back to work, there'll be like a slight kind of a stable period. but we're looking at a complete, I'm not just saying this because, you know, I obviously don't want people to lose their homes or whatever, but we're looking at a complete credit crisis and recession in the next 12 to 18, 24 months. And if you don't have good credit, it'll be a massive hindrance. And for $1,500, I have payment plans, you know, $500 a month for 4 months. I mean, like, if you don't fix your credit now, you're just doing yourself a huge disservice, especially if you're a business owner. If you're a business owner, you're not leveraging business credit, and you're not, you know, don't have lines of credit to kind of help you during rough times. You know, and the other thing is too, is that, you know, look with the government, when some stuff like this happens, people are getting free, like literally getting free money, $150,000, you know, forgivable loans, you know, $10,000 advances from the SBA. So if you're a business owner or not, having good credit is of the utmost importance. And there's a lot of scammy people and not authentic and genuine people in the industry. And I just, you know, tell people, look, if you come with me, we're going to actually do what we say. You might pay a little bit more, but you're going to get kind of the white glove treatment. I tell people, do you want to hire a public defender, or do you want to hire a lawyer, right? A real attorney. So it's kind of something similar like that. You don't want just anyone random working on your credit. You want like someone who actually knows what they're doing. So.
And if you guys don't know the difference between public defender and attorney, and you don't watch Law and Order or something, you won't get there. So, awesome, man. I appreciate you jumping on this, and
Absolutely.
I'm excited for you, man. Dude, I know that the sky is your ceiling. I mean, not even that. Like, you've been scaling fast. Can't wait to see where you're at the end of the year. So, all right, fam. Well, thank you for joining us. Anybody watching this, if you'd love to be able to be in the family in the art of sales, we'd love to be able to help you out, do some stuff that we did for Jake. And definitely, if you need help with credit repair, credit period, or funding of any kind, reach out to him. So this way you can get the white glove treatment.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rob, for having me on. It's been fun, and looking forward to keep going.
Same. Later, guys.